I'm a person born in the south of Spain, in a little town called Úbeda, and I moved to Madrid to study advertising and public relations. And in the middle of the college, I was boring because, and I began to work in an agency in the summer in BBDO, Madrid. And I never got back to the college after this. And I stayed in BBDO like 4 years. And after I go to a Japanese agency that's called Remo and Contrapunto, that I worked 5 years. And after I began the crisis in Spain, and in 2009, everybody was fired. In Spain, all the middle class creative director, we are fired. And I tried to put my own agency that's called Hombre con dos Cerebros, that means the man with two brains. That is a digital agency. And after this, one day, I was in the agency and said, I'm boring again, because to be a creative director and to be a businessman is very different thing. When you are a creative director, you only worry for make the best ad, and when you are a businessman, you have to pay salaries and pay taxes, and I don't know. I don't feel good. And I think that open a school, because in my career, I always was a teacher in different schools, universities in Spain, and we opened the Atomic Garden. And when I was working in Atomic Garden, only in Atomic Garden, like 3 months, I am boring again, and say I want to work in agency again. And one agency, independent agency in Spain that called Kitchen, called me for creative director, and now I have half day teaching in the Atomic Garden and be a creative director in Kitchen. And after this, I boring again. I say, why we don't open a school in other countries? And now we are working in this. We have a school in Lithuania, very close to here, and Lima, Santo Domingo, and Madrid, and we wait that the next year we open 2 or 3 schools more.
99 francs.
Coach. Funny.
I've lost almost 300 games.
Upgrade. Lose. Feel. Reality. Art Nouveau.
Gerai.
Friends. The one. The other, the one. Yeah, it's a good question, because was like a revelation, because when I was in the high school, I want to be a painter. I did graffiti and always drawing. And one day in my high school, we make an excursion to Madrid to show the Prado Museum. So I saw the Prado Museum, and this time I'm very worried about the art. And when I go out of the Prado Museum, I saw like a giant billboard of a building in Madrid that from Heineken, that called is a slogan, a Spanish slogan that is thinking green. And my teacher asked me that was my favorite thing that I saw in all the days. This billboard is curious because after I worked for Heineken 5 years, and this billboard maybe changed my life, because maybe now I will be a mediocre artist that have hungry in the middle of Madrid. For me, it's very difficult this question, because in Spain we have a very particular, in the time that I worked for Heineken, we have a very particular strategy that from Europe changed. That Heineken in Madrid, we have, in Spain we have very good beers, local beer, but we have the local beer from Madrid, that is Mau, is very strong in all the country. So, but Mau is like more popular. No? And Heineken was sold for the market like a little bit higher. So, for example, Mau was soccer, sport, men, and the strategy in Spain for Heineken was the cool festival of music, Ibiza, all the modern stuff. So this strategy for a lot of years worked in Spain very, very good, and Heineken up Mau. But after, when you say this campaign that the strategy change was very difficult for us, because Mau and us tell the same history, that we are men, we sponsor the Champions League, and I don't know, I think that Heineken have a wonderful brand, one of the better Europe brands, but I think that the advertising of Heineken were better like 3-4 years ago. I think that the tendency have to be, don't pretend sell every time, because this is all now, this I say, but the unidirectional advertising is dead, because you have a dialogue with the people. So if you are my friend, I can stay every day say, buy this. I have to be more friend, and it's particular that you see that in Facebook, you are fans of the trademark of the brand, and I think that is the way that, for example, I love New Balance. I always dress New Balance, but it's a brand that I like, and New Balance does things that I like, but don't try to sell me every day. I think that the chain of tendency is this. You can use the subculture for all brands, only for a few brands. So what will be next? I think that all is very similar in the year. Only change, I don't know. For me, I'm a no fashion person. I always dress the same. New Balance, superhero or stupid thing t-shirt, and like 20 years ago. But I live in the gay neighborhood of Madrid, and I saw all the tendency, and I really think that between hipster generation or X generation, that 20 years is are very similar. It's only that we have beer and the other have, I don't know, different movies, different music, but I think that all is very similar in time, only change the bands, the clothes, but the feeling that you want feel different than the other people, it's very strange, because you want to feel different to be the same that all your friends. But I think that this is similar in all time. So, for example, a brand like Depot here in Latvia can use the hipster movement. Only can use bands or, I don't know, a local beer that is more craft, or I don't know. I think that it's very difficult to show the new movement. The cool hunters have a lot of mistakes. Maybe I think that proof that don't worry that the people think about us, and I think that this is very important for be successful. That you know the anecdote of the visit card of Mark Zuckerberg. I'm the CEO, bitch. So I'm the CEO and I dress sneaker and t-shirt and I have any problem with this. For example, when I speak with my students, I say that if I am you, I want to be in the first moment of my career in a big one. Because it's like, I don't know, the military service where you have to fight with other 20 couple for do ad, and I don't know, I think that Ferran Adrià, the greatest chef in Spain, say one day asked about that, what do you prefer, the nouvelle cuisine or the traditional cuisine? I said, I don't like this talk. I like the talk with the good cuisine and the bad cuisine. So I think with the agencies it's very similar. You have a lot of international agencies, like in countries like BBDO, McCann Erickson, DDB, or such and such, that are a great agencies. And you have independent agencies, like I know some in Lithuania, like Milk, New, that are great agencies. But also you have a very good company, like international company, that is horrible, that is like work in the hell, and independence too. So I think that the talking have to be that is the agency have a creative way of work, but I think that the big company, the big multinational have one thing very good, that is you feel safer. Because if you lose an account, it's not a big deal. In an independent agency, if you lose an account, it's a really drama. That this is good. But I think that in the independence, you can do a work more free than in the big one. But I think that the really talk is good agencies, bad agencies. I think I'm very hippie, you know? So I think that we have to be empathic, a lot of empathic. For be creative, it's the most important thing. You have to try to know what feel the other person that is in front of you. For make advertising, this is the first thing. And for be a creative director too, because you have to be like middle box, hard box, and middle coach, and do coaching with your team and say, you can do this, I trust in you, and this. I think that be empathic, try to work more than the people that you are down, because in this way you enjoy every day your work. I say all my students that if you don't smile, if you don't laugh in your work a day, you never have a good idea. Don't be boring, never, because boring life, boring portfolio, boring works. So this is my 4 tips. The Spain market now is in very controversial time, because after the crisis, we down a lot of the price of the production and the fees, And now that the money get back to the country, it's very difficult to say to the client, okay, you remember when I make you a sport for 10? Now it's 15 again. So I think that is very, in this moment, Spain have a very crucial time in advertising when the survivor of the crisis have to try to put the things in the same way that before the crisis. And I think that the Spanish market will be okay. And in the next 5 years, I think that will grow up. But we have to be strong in front of the client, because this from 2009 to now was very horrible years, because all the fees have to be down and we have to fire a lot of people. And now the survivor after the years, we have a lot. So I remember it's a old commercial from Norway that is from a lottery that is Baron Bridge's son, and it's a taxi driver that come to a line of people and begin to dance Baron Blitz. And the people say, take me to the airport, sir. And in the end of the commercial, one of the line dancing with him and say, lottery, we make different millionaires. And when I saw the advertising, I say, why I don't think this? Because it's brilliant, very funny. I love the humor. And yesterday, in the Golden Hammer, I saw the lesbian and gay avatars from Czech Republic and said, it's brilliant, it's very simple, but why I don't think that? I'm in the gay capital of the world and I don't think this. When I see this commercial of Volkswagen, of Bill Verbach, you wondering how the drive of the snowplow drive to the snowplow. This drive a Volkswagen. I say that this is the kind of advertising that I love. That is insightful, that inside your brain, very simple. If I have to sell it one, I want to be the creator of the snowplow commercial. It's a tough question because it's very general. I think that I enjoy that you do. And if we speak more about advertising, the inspiration of advertising or all the creative offices is that live. You have to travel, you have to kiss on no one girl in a disco, you have to dance, you have to read, you have to see movies, you have to read comic books, you have to have a mistake, you have to live, because all born from your experience. So if you be in your house with your computer, only chatting in Facebook or put Instagram photos, but for example, I love Instagram, but some people make the photo and don't see for example, I saw the photo here, but I don't see the sky like for 2 minutes. It's okay, the photo, you have the memory, but I think my advice to the people that see this blog is live the life, and And White and Kennedy have in the front of the door of the agency, fail harder. So fail harder. Who cares?